When you get married, you never think that you are going to be single again, because I didn't think like that. I thought once I got married, that was going to be it. But, life has a way of, throwing a monkey wrench into your life. So it's how you deal with it, how you get past it, that really makes a difference in your life. So for me, I've been divorced now probably about since 2008, 2009, when I found myself back being single, living, of course, with my children, my son and my daughter, and how I dealt with it at the time. I would say what I struggled with was basically dealing with my children, because I felt so guilty. I kept feeling like I was a failure when it came down to them, that we were no longer going to be in a house with all of us, mother, father, and the kids. So I felt so torn. I felt so defeated on that. And I think that's what took me so long to make a decision on separating. So at this time, I talked to my mother like long and hard. And she would tell me, Lee, because they used to call me Lee. She would say, Lee, your kids will be fine. If you're not happy, your kids will know it. So when I heard her say that, it was like something just lifted up off of me, and I did what I needed to do for myself and for my kids. So when I decided to leave, that was it. I got my stuff together, found me an apartment, and that was it. I didn't tell anyone anything. I did confide in, I believe, one girlfriend. She knew what was what. And I found me an apartment, like I stated. And he didn't even know what side of town I was on at that time. But of course, eventually he did. He had to, because, we had, joint custody of the kids. He had visitation rights and all of that. So, yeah. So it's been since 2008, 2009, around about that time. And here it is, 2025. So, but of course, I was in a couple more relationships after that. But one very serious one where I had the opportunity to get married again, but I just decided that it wasn't going to be best for me at that moment in time. So, yeah. But other than that, how I dealt with it, I just knew I had to keep on moving. I just knew I had to keep on living my life. I had to make sure I kept a job, which I did. And that's when I was in the banking industry at that time. And, mentally, I felt good because I was no longer in that type of relationship, that environment where you always feel like someone is doing something that they should not be doing, So I felt good about that. I felt free, but like I stated, you just never think that you are going to be single once you're married. I just didn't think like that. But I know it does happen. It happens to people, But just being single right now at this age that I am now, my late 50s, I still feel good about it because, I have my moments where, yeah, of course, I would love to be in a relationship, but I I still feel good. I feel good to the point where, I can get up and I can do whatever I want to do. I don't have to answer to anyone. I can, spend my money however I want to spend it. I don't have anyone, on my back about, XYZ. I'm just, doing my thing around here, and I love it. But of course, I wouldn't mind being in a relationship with someone, some sort of companionship. But other than that, I feel like I'm good. But, dating has been kind of challenging. It has. It's been real challenging for me because I am the type of person that I am going to be, all in with someone. I'm not going to be half stepping. And if I see that you're not going to be that type of person, it's not going to work. I can't, you can't just be like, 40, 40, 50. You have to know what you want. You have to know what you want to do. Yeah, you have to be the man. I can't be the man and the woman. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to, that individual person just have to be in a healthy place. Have to be in a healthy place. They have to know who they are. They are not lacking any kind of self-esteem about themselves, not being jealous, because you do have some men that can be jealous of you. So, and with me doing what I'm doing now as a content creator, I need for someone to really understand that, with me making time to sit down and make these videos, I need someone that would truly understand that and not try to block me from doing this part of my life that I enjoy doing so much. So, but getting back to dating, it's been pretty challenging because I have not met any men that is, on my level or, doing much better than what I'm doing. Someone that may have their own home, a pretty decent job, their own transportation. You'd be surprised that so many men that's out here, they don't really have a lot of things that they should have. There are so many women out here that have so much more than what the average man have. You just have some men out here that just don't have that get up and go about themselves. So it's pretty challenging out here. It's very challenging. What I can say is, if you ever find yourself back out in the world single, make sure you surround yourself with people that care about you and love you, because you will need that support system to kind of, get through everything. I want to talk about 3 important things that you really need to think about when you are back out in the world, single. The first one is going to be, make sure you budget your money the way that you need to budget your money. Because now you are single, you solo, you need to be able to manage your money the way that you need to be able to manage it to get through. Number 2 is safety. You need to start really paying attention to how you moving around in the world by you being a single woman. You have to be very careful when you are just out here, so that's very important. And then number 3, there are things that may need to be fixed around your home. Depending on if you have some sort of warranty, on your home, you may not have to worry about this too tough. But if you don't have that on, different appliances in your home, you need to be able to have someone on speed dial that you can actually get in touch with, a good handyman, so it is what it is on that. So these are some important things that you really have to think about when you are back out in the world single. You need to have all of this stuff kind of lined up. So, yeah. And remember, you are blessed and you are loved. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.